Welcome to the Debbie and Kim Show.
Real people, real talk.
From challenges to wisdom, conversations that heal, inspire, and empower. Yay! We're all awesome.
So glad you're here.
I'm so excited. I'm excited every week. So we have
She's especially excited this week because of our guests.
Our guests.
Don't let her fool you there.
But Kimberly has been super, super busy this week, and she has a lot of stuff going on because she has a new service that she's offering, and she's just out trying to get people to know about it and different things like that. So she's really been busy.
I have. And so check out all my social medias too.
Yes. Awesome.
All right.
I'm not as busy as her, but I'm working on it. It'll get there.
Do you want to share
The
news?
What news?
So she went to Mexico.
Oh,
we all
yeah.
know she went to Mexico.
Yeah,
But she came back. She went there single. Well,
Yes, I went there single and came back engaged. But we don't have a ring yet. We don't have a ring. We didn't get a ring. We didn't get a ring. We didn't get a ring, and we haven't set a date. So we're working on all of that. I'm very excited. I'm happy to be back in Mesa, but we're on our way back to Mexico again to check it all out. But again, I am extremely excited because I have known this young man for quite a few years, and I am so proud of him. I've seen him grow. I've seen him go from a teenager to a very wise young man, and he spent 21 years in the Air Force. So to be commended, and thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. So, Aaron, would you like to add something in there before I ask him to give us a little bit of information about himself?
I want to get into this interview because we got a lot to share with us.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear his story.
Great. So, Aaron, tell us about yourself. Tell us how this journey began.
So, which journey? The journey of...
Well, I mean, of course,
journey.
we know there's transition. So you came from the Pittsburgh area, graduated from high school, and decided to go into the military.
Yes, ma'am. And so at that point in time when we graduate high school, everyone is, excited about, the summer after graduating, and everyone's preparing their plans to go to school and things of that sort. And there's a lot of excitement surrounding that particular point in time. And I remember asking myself, I knew school was okay. And it's not that I had I was in a place to where I wanted to pursue school because I enjoyed, education so much. It just seemed to be the thing that everyone was doing and the thing that we were technically supposed to do after high school. However, I'm just naturally a salmon. If the school of fish are going this direction, I'm going the opposite direction. That's just how I am in life in general.
That's good for you.
That's good
for you.
And so with that,
so many people are scared to go against.
I explored the opportunities of one. I needed to get out of Pittsburgh. It was just that type of city to where I could see very early on that it wasn't necessarily conducive for the future plans that I had for myself. And so I explored literally every different branch of service that there is. I started off in an Army recruiter's office, spoke to the Navy, and then finally landed on the Air Force. And it was through my great uncle who served early in the 50s. And so, as you can imagine, during that time in service, it was not easy for people of color. And so, from the stories and the history that he was able to relate to me and his experience in the Air Force, that is where I decided to pursue. And when I first embarked on that journey, I had no idea it would be 21 plus years. I went in, okay, I'll do my 4 years, exceed what I'm going to exceed, experience what I'm going to experience, and then I'll figure out life afterwards. However, The first 4 years was such a different world, that I could never even envision. And over that 4 years, I had the opportunity to deploy to a different country. So this was my first time stepping foot out of the US and being
Traveling.
exposed to a different culture and different languages and just everything. And I wanted more of that. And so I decided to stay in after that initial 4 years. And during that initial 4 years, every bit of it was spent in Phoenix. That was my first Phoenix Duke
Wow.
Air Force Base was my first, duty assignment, and I was there for 4 years.
Can I ask a
Wow.
question? So everybody thinks that when people go into the Air Force, they're going to be pilots. Were you a pilot?
No, so I wasn't. So how I explain just military service in general is most professions that you find on the outside of the military, just day-to-day life, day-to-day civilians, whether you're a chef, a lawyer, a police officer, all of these professions are also within the military branches as
Military.
well. And
Mhm.
so it is, it gives me the opportunity to expand the mindset of those who may not have a lot of information about those who serve in the military. But I equate it to it's whenever anyone was asking me, okay, what is your day? Or do you have someone screaming in your face telling you to get up? It's time for you to go to work.
Mhm.
No, you are an adult. You have a job, you have a schedule, and you know this. And so there's not this sense of like you are being coddled. There is a great deal of responsibility. You're an adult,
Listen,
and this is the profession that you have decided to be a part of. And so, yeah, so it's a part of personal responsibility. So you're not going to have someone yelling and screaming and dictating your day. However, when you go to basic training, that's what
yeah.
that world is comprised of. So yeah.
I have a
But
question. So,
although not a pilot, I did serve on an airborne platform as an aircrew member. And I
mm,
did that for 4 years out of Omaha, Nebraska.
wow. Did you in while you were in the military go to college? And
Absolutely, yes. That is one thing that I can say, at least during my time when I first came in, education was harped on tremendously. So much so that it weighed as a factor in promotion. And so,
Oh,
yeah,
awesome.
and so there is this wow, and the beautiful thing about me deciding not to go to college straight out of high school was that, I over those 4 years, I got to see that my friends that did decide to go to college, 1, either didn't finish,
Yeah.
or 2, graduated and did not get a job for what they went to school
We
for.
went to school for it. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
here I
mhm.
am, and I make the decision to join the military. I get my bachelor's degree, and these are the
Good
same
for you.
institutions that the public go to that we're afforded the opportunity. It's not free, but however, a large part of it is subsidized for you. So
Yeah.
Okay. I was
I
gonna
got my
ask you, is
degree
it
in
for free?
emergency management because it aligned with what I was doing in the military.
You said
Am I utilizing it
emergency?
now? Absolutely not. But yeah,
But it
You said it's called emergency management?
emergency management. So like FEMA.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Oh, okay.
that's
Okay.
great. That's invaluable. You can use that forever because there's always
You
something going
absolutely
on.
can for sure.
Yeah. That's lifelong
Mhm.
education.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lifelong.
So after that 4 years, you said you were in Phoenix and then you were in Omaha.
So the trajectory. So Phoenix, I did Phoenix for 4 years, and then my next duty assignment once I re-enlisted, quite possibly my one of my top two assignments out of the 21 years, it was to Holland. It was to the Netherlands. And
Oh,
so when you tell a young a young 20-something-year-old that they're getting ready to leave and go live in Europe and Holland, of course, I have no concept of any of this. And this is the early 2000s. So researching things and, social media and being able to see what's there just wasn't available. And so you're pretty
Mm.
much just walking into a new space blindly. However, when I got there, it was so wonderful to see and live amongst a culture that was starkly different from ours. That being in that country, I got to see how people value land. how people value animals, how people value each other, how people value themselves so much so like it is customary to take a pause in your work day to reset, rest, and then work
Yeah.
resumes after there.
Yes,
And so
most of the world has that, yeah.
exactly. And so coming from the US where everyone is on this hamster wheel caught up in this rat
Mhm.
race. Yes, of
Mhm.
course, economics play a role in every modern day society. Capitalism, all of that. I get it. However, there's a gross imbalance between what I witness here in the US and what I've seen in other countries.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, for sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
That is awesome.
Yes,
So how do
so
you
I spent 2 years in Holland. After Holland, I was in Omaha for 4 years, and of course, between that, I deployed to Iraq, and experienced, what real war is like.
Wow,
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
wow.
for
oh,
sure.
thank God that you made it out of there. Thank
Yes,
God. Yeah, you
certainly,
were
and but for those I do wanna mention that for those who have family members who serve, when we deploy, that is for us, for the majority of us, this is just normal stuff. However, what is portrayed in the news, what's on TV, sort of
Exploits it.
I won't say
or
exploit, I would
distorts
say
the
it puts
reality.
too it magnifies it in a negative light. All you
Yeah.
see is the damage and
Mhm.
destruction. And I get it and I understand it. It's the news cycle. However, those that of us that go, one, we look forward to going, and two, when we go, we're there to do the jobs that we've been trained to do. So if I'm
Mm,
a chef, if I cook, I'm not going to be
any
out there on the front lines
questions at
all of a
all?
sudden shooting at people. That's not what I've been
Mhm.
trained to do. I'm there to deploy and do the job that I've been trained to do. And so, yeah, is it a scary event? Yes. However, those of us that serve are not scared to go. This is a part of like what we do.
Mm.
Mm.
Yes, and
So
so Iraq, and then my final years, I spent in a country I never heard of until I got the assignment, Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan is in Central Asia, and I
mm,
was a diplomat in Central Asia at the US Embassy in Uzbekistan for my last 2
wow.
years.
Wow, and what all is involved in being a diplomat?
Host nation coordination and partnership building, primarily.
Oh,
Mhm.
So, like,
awesome.
break that down into everyday activities. Just, a
So,
glance.
well, so the embassies are housed under the State Department, so not the Department of Defense. So Air Force me, I fall under the Department of Defense. When I'm a diplomat working in an embassy, now I fall under the State Department, which every embassy worldwide does. However, there's like this weird it's a weird it's a weird dynamic. So I'm working in a military office amongst State Department, primarily all State Department employees. And
Mhm.
so all of us have a function. There's so many different moving pieces within an embassy that require planning and coordination. Literally, if anything is done in US interest, it must be planned to the nth degree,
Nth
especially
degree,
when
wow.
conducting operations outside of the US. And everything requires a host nation's approval and support for anything going down in the country. But for
Mm.
me particularly, I would just work with my host nation counterparts to ensure all of the Air Force aircraft military missions that were coming in had all the support that they needed before, while they were in country, and as they were headed out.
Mhm.
That is so interesting. Eh,
That
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was gonna say that brings us to our next question, but you go ahead first.
I was gonna say, can you pronounce that again where you
U-
were stationed?
Oh, Uzbekistan. Yes.
Is
Uzbekistan.
that UZ? Uh-huh.
Uzbekistan.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
okay.
and ironically enough, when I was stationed at Luke Air Force Base, my first deployment was to a country called Kyrgyzstan, and Kyrgyzstan is the neighbor to Uzbekistan. And so
Oh,
in the very early beginnings of my career, I was already in the region, not knowing 20 something
Yes.
years later, I
You're
would,
back.
You would be
be
back.
finishing my career in Central Asia. Yeah,
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Interesting career. I mean,
most certainly.
that is, yeah. And like you said, you had no idea what you were getting into. You just know you wasn't going up the same downstream with everybody else. You going
Exactly.
upstream.
Mhm. Certainly.
Awesome. So, what key skills from your 21 years in the military have shaped how you lead your business today? And we don't know anything about your business, so you can
So
tell us.
that's the segue
Yeah.
into
Oh, the segue. Okay, here we
yeah.
go. So during the course of those 2 decades of service, I realized that the military is great at enforcing its physical standards on its service members, and rightfully so. We need to be physically ready for the work that we sign up to do, and then physically capable just in case war pops off to be, ready to go. And so I realized very quickly that the military is great at enforcing those physical standards upon its service members, but it's not so great at teaching us how to recover from the physical strain. And
Mm,
so it was that lived experience that led me to discovering for myself that, okay, my body is beat up. I don't know what to do exactly, how to recover. And so I sought out massage. And then I realized that a spa massage is not going to do it for me. I require more firm, direct pressure. And so that led me to going to like Thai massage. And Thai massage is no joke. And that when it comes to body
mhm,
work, Thai massage is my love.
mm,
That's the modality that I resonate with the most. It's all about stretching and making sure that the body is receiving the pressure that it needs to recover from whatever it needs to recover from. And so it was that lived experience that helped shape my decision to dedicate this next chapter to helping others recover and live more comfortably in our bodies, especially as we begin to age.
mm, mm.
So, and do you think that when individuals get out of the military, it is hard to stay in that routine of the daily life that you had while you were in the military?
I believe that's just very subjective to the individual.
Okay. Mhm.
I see cases of those that they get out and then they get their time back, they get their freedom back, and they've set themselves up financially to where they don't need to jump back into the job market, and so they're living free and however that presents to them, whether it's, gaining a few pounds or staying
Yeah.
relatively healthy and in shape. It just really depends. However, for the person that I am, yeah, I cannot I don't look to live in the past.
Mhm.
However, there are elements of my experience that they will always stay with me. And just for me, the person that I am, I cannot allow myself physically to debilitate, to
Mhm.
allow myself to go off the wagon because I'm already dealing with physical limitations. I have a herniated disc. I'm
Mm,
dealing with things that the upkeep of my body is a high priority, and so I can't
Mhm.
allow myself to slip off and that doesn't mean that I'm so rigid with myself that I don't give myself grace to live life and live life
Mhm.
comfortably. I
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
most certainly do that. However, me falling off the wagon completely, I don't envision that happening. As long as I
Yeah.
have the physical means and capabilities, no.
yeah.
So how did that transition between getting out of the service and looking for employment
Mhm.
to creating your own
Company.
company
Mhm.
and your
Yeah,
own
so
business?
that is a journey within itself, and what I tell people, the conversations that I have with individuals that are still serving and those that are preparing to retire or separate from service is that when you serve, you suppress a lot of who we naturally are. It has
Yes.
to be suppressed because we're serving a higher calling that that is not required. That is not needed. Like who you
Mm.
are, you know, the essence of you is we don't need that.
Wow.
We need the robot, the
Wow.
machine that we have created,
Mm,
that we have
mm,
trained to be able to do what we need that machine to do when the time comes.
Mm.
And so
mm.
when you're sort of like when you navigate life like that, your mindset, you have a different mindset. And so once retirement comes and then now I have my time back, we don't know what's going to happen in that space. And
Yeah.
so the beautiful thing that about my transition was that I didn't allow myself to scramble looking for another job afterwards.
Yes.
However, it is very common for an individual to retire on a Friday at at their job that they've been employed at for however long. They take the uniform off, and on Monday they're in a suit and tie at the same job for another 10,
The
15
same
years.
job
The same job, doing the same thing as a
outside of the
civilian
okay.
as a
Oh,
civilian,
as a
Yeah.
civilian.
for another 10, 15, or however long they choose to decide to do that.
Mhm.
There's n there's no way I would allow myself to do that. Um, because there's already a sense that those that serve become institutionalized. And
Yeah.
and so in my
Yeah.
mind, doing something for X amount of years and continuing to do that same thing, not necessarily feeling the need or the desire to look for or do something else, there's no way I could allow
Mm.
myself to do that. And so through but also I didn't know what I was going to do.
Yes.
Which can be frightening, but I told myself this is the first time where you get to experience life as an adult and your time is completely yours to decide
Mhm.
whatever it is that you want to do.
Yeah,
Yes.
good
And I
for you.
didn't, and it took me a while. It's not like I was searching, scrambling, trying to figure out what I would do. It just so naturally and organically presented itself to me.
That's
And
beautiful.
during this time period, what I tell people is that since we have to suppress so much of our essence, when you no longer have to do that, you discover and rediscover yourself. You learn and relearn
Mm,
yourself. And so through this process, it was presented to me once again something that I had this desire to do. So when I was in the military, I was a certified personal trainer. And then
Oh,
it was also a desire of mine to pursue massage therapy. There's no way the time that it takes to dedicate to the profession of bodywork, massage therapy, stress therapy, it's impossible. It's just not. However, that seed was planted into me years before I retired. And then so now here
yeah.
I am with my time back to just let life happen, however it's going to happen.
Yes.
And then this seed that I planted years ago reemerges, and here I am on that path. And that path led me to relocating and establishing my roots here in Houston. It
wow.
led me to discovering the massage therapy school that I went to. And then so many beautiful doors just opened in that space alone. So yeah, that's how so that was pretty much, the transition of military and then how I decided to become a private mobile practitioner, doing body work.
When you say body work, what does that entail or include?
So body work it's pretty much the modalities that have anything to do with bringing therapeutic relief to the body. And so that's Swedish massage, that's Thai massage, that's assisted stretch therapy. All of these are grouped and coupled into body work.
So when you are promoting your business or telling people, what you do so that they would know whether they would like to get your service, how do you describe it? Or what results would you say that your
Well, it
clients
really
receive?
depends who it is that I'm speaking to. If I'm speaking to someone who understands and knows the value of taking care of the physical body, then they already know. And so I don't have to, go into great detail explaining to them the benefits of body work, and more particular more particular what I do regarding body work,
Right.
which is therapeutic Swedish massage, which is not like your spa relaxation, woo woo.
Yeah.
I get in there,
Yeah.
because that's and there is a time and space for the comforting. However, the body, it takes such a beating. Just daily walking and not doing anything about that. After
Mhm.
time, all of these things that we put through and expose our bodies to, it all adds up. And so if we're not doing anything to relieve the pressure, opening the pressure valve, the body begins to break down. Once the body begins to break down, we become sedentary. Once we become sedentary, that leads to a rapid decline in
Your
health.
muscle.
And so
Mhm.
to answer your question directly, it really depends on the individual that I'm communicating with. However, generally speaking, body work itself will bring a sense of loosening restrictions where restrictions are, whether that's in the joints, whether that's in our muscles. It is known to downregulate our nervous systems. So it
Mm,
brings us to a state of calm, especially with just life. There's so many things that we have to juggle, and we become so resilient to things in life in general that we don't feel as if we need sort of the self care
yeah,
that's
people
actually
have no
required to help
idea.
us
That's
to continue
yeah,
to function, you know?
yeah. Do you when you're doing your body work, do you ever run across, releasing of emotions, emotional trapped emotions? Like someone
Certainly.
just starts crying or
So
releasing and
that hasn't happened to me personally, but I have been in rooms and spaces where that has happened, and that is something that all practitioners must be aware of, is that there is an exchange of energy in these spaces. And so
Mhm.
if you are not doing anything to safeguard your own energy,
Mm.
and I don't want to get too woo woo, or
Yeah,
however, I will.
yeah.
If you're not doing anything to protect your own aura, your own energy field, things will latch on to you. And especially in a space when you're caring for someone physically, the energy in that space is indescribable. And so, if your shields of protection are not up, energies can latch and leech on. And then now all of a sudden you're wondering, yo, why am I exhausted? Why am I angry? Why am I this? Why am I that? When
mm,
this is not who you
Yeah.
generally are
Yeah.
day to day. And so, yes, the energy aspect of body work is something that I feel it cannot be understated.
mm.
So how do you work with that? Oh, I'm sorry. How do you work to protect yourself from someone else's energy when you're doing this kind of work?
I have my own sense of practice. And so what I do, whether it's before I even step out the door to begin work for the day, or if it's before I prepare myself to touch my first of the day, I'm going to a place of meditation. I'm going to a place of conversation with self and
Uh,
self and others, um, to raise up those defenses.
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, tell me that. Well, I don't know whether or not you would consider that a challenge, but has there been any challenges as you've made the transition from military person to becoming a business owner and an entrepreneur?
I would say, entrepreneurship is a challenge within itself. And so there's enough, there's very few things that I can lean on from my military past to prepare me for entrepreneurship. One,
Mm.
it was never a desire to work for me to work for myself. I it's Not that I didn't want to, I never conceived the thought of it.
Yeah. How did you get there?
So my wife is an entrepreneur,
Mhm.
and before I began my transition to retirement, we were having discussions. Do I take another assignment and go somewhere else? And it was through the conversations that I was having with her and just seeing how she navigated her life. And the biggest it wasn't a sale, but the biggest appeal to me retiring at that point in time was that the notion of having my time back for the first time in over 20 years. And
Mhm.
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
and so now having that time to decide what I'm going to do, which direction I'm going to do. And I did pursue other opportunities of working for the government. However, these thoughts never sat with me for too long.
Mhm.
And once I was reminded of the seed that I had planted regarding massage therapy, then I was like, this is it. This is what I'm going to do. And I didn't question it. It was something that was so it would I was so, internally, there was
Passionate? Was
something
it
that
there
was
was a passion
driving
about it?
me that said, "Get
Okay.
Yeah.
up and do this." And I
Yeah.
got up and I did it and I didn't question it. And so here I am. And so even though this was, the internal drive, okay, massage therapy school, okay, Houston, okay, but there's a lot that has to happen to make that happen. And so, uh going through massage therapy school, I knew with conviction that this is the path that I was going to be on. And so before I even started massage therapy school, which is a 9-month process, I already had my LLC. I said I need to start doing things to hold myself accountable. And
Accountable.
so
Mhm.
if I go
Yes.
and pay and have my LLC registered, there's no way I'm going to just allow that act forgo that action. And
Yeah.
so every small step that I was making while in massage therapy school, building my website, building the structural foundation of my business, my booking platform, and it's just everything that it takes to build up the structural foundation of a business. I took those incremental steps every single day. And so if I can say there's an attribute from my military past that prepared me for what it is that I'm doing now daily, I would have to say it's the sense of preparation. There
Mhm.
there while I served, I worked multiple zero fail mission jobs, which means there's no room for error
Sure.
in these jobs
Mm.
that you do because there are critical consequences. And so now being this is my work environment, you are trained to be a robot. You are trained not to second guess. You are trained to in all it you're a robot. You're a robot. There's everything is black and white. There is no gray and there's no room for failure. And
Huh.
so when you're functioning in a high operations tempo environment as such, your sense of preparation is insane because
Mm.
you have this very human brain telling you, I can't fail. I can't fail. There's no room for failure. I can't fail. And so when that is your mindset, you are locked into a degree
Mhm.
that you will never the level of attention that I had to give to these jobs was never utilized again outside of those jobs. But
Huh.
the practice, the mindset of being prepared for everything, that stuck with me and that stays with me. And so,
Yeah.
literally, that is what drives me. The sense of preparation is what drives me every single morning to continue
Well,
to
yeah.
look for opportunities to grow, to expand my network, to grow my business, to expand my business.
Yeah, that training is invaluable. I mean, I know you probably thought, it's a it's a curse and it's a blessing, but
No, I
it
looked at
just
it as I already have the propensity, not setting ego to the side. I'm going
uh-huh.
to be the best at whatever I do. There's not gonna be anyone
Okay.
if there's someone else doing the same job as me, they're not gonna be better than me. However, this is the mindset of everyone else that you're working with,
That's
for the
good.
most part.
That's a good
For the
thing.
most
Yeah,
That's
part.
that's
right.
that's
Yeah,
right.
Some
that's right.
some slip through the cracks. But
Yeah.
for the most
Yeah.
part, everyone is operating as like, "I'm
Their
it.
best, the top,
I'm it.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's nobody
And
here
that's
doing what I do
Mhm.
better than what I can do it." And so, yeah,
yeah. That's the attitude you have to well, I won't say you
yes,
have to have
absolutely.
it, but it's a good attitude to have.
Yeah.
It's a winning attitude, that's for sure.
Certainly.
And,
So, but
and
with balance, of course, you know.
right,
Balance,
right.
yeah.
Mhm.
And appreciating that when somebody else is better,
Mhm.
give them their due, you know? That's just, next time you're going, "I'm gonna be better next time. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
better."
yeah, yeah.
I get it. So, with if somebody so you're a body worker, right?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay,
A
that's what you call
massage
yourself.
therapist and stretch therapist, yes.
And when so is that a passion of yours?
Absolutely, which is why I decided to dedicate, the next chapter of my life to helping others, recover and live more comfortably in their bodies. That is a very strong passion of mine, and I feel it stems from, taking a look around my own family. Yeah, and seeing that those that are aging and how they're aging is not always the best. It's
Mhm.
not always the best. And so that is essentially the driving force behind me wanting to dedicate this next chapter to, the body work.
Yeah.
So,
It's a
c if can we ask
good.
about the message? Is there
Mhm.
another question that you have?
The only other question was, are there any surprising parallels between being in the military and running your own business? Did he did he answer that?
Uh-huh. Right?
Alright.
Did
I
you answer
sort
that?
of
Oh, okay.
indirectly I did, but I would say overall no, because the military, you're for the most part you are taken care of. Yes,
Mhm.
there's a great deal of responsibility on every single service member. However, entrepreneurship, everything is on you.
Quite
Mhm.
the
If you're going to
opposite.
get
Yeah.
booked,
Yeah.
if you're going to get a call, if you're going to make a connection,
Yeah.
everything it hinges
Is
on
on
what energy you're putting into that.
yeah.
Everything rests on your shoulders. There's no team. There's no team environment here, to guide
Yeah.
you through that. So, no. Yeah, I would say, to echo what I mentioned earlier, the only parallel is sort of that sense of preparation that it takes for success.
Mm.
Which is perfect.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, that's key because that's what a lot of entrepreneurs don't have.
Right.
People
Exactly,
that just
and
come
then
out
you're
and want
able
to
to
do that.
see, when you hear someone say, "I wanna do this, I wanna do that," but you see the energy and effort that goes into it, and not in a place of judging anyone, it's like, "Okay, I hear you. I just don't see you," you know?
But they don't have the
Mm.
training that you had.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't
And but
it
I
didn't
think the other thing
I
is
was
they
this
say
before I entered the military. The
yeah,
Okay.
military just brought it to the
it's
forefront
the
of me.
forefront.
Honed
And
it.
Honed it
Honed
in.
it.
anything that I presented, even though I had to suppress a lot of my essence, I
Yeah.
never compromised on who I was as a person, as an
Yes.
Your
individual. I don't
character.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so that never happened. I never compromised my integrity. I never did things for the sake of doing and getting along. That's just not
Yeah.
the person that I was, you
Mhm.
know?
Mhm.
So, yeah, so I can't say it was a training. It comes down to the individual.
Jules.
There
Yeah,
are
that is true.
very disciplined and structured individuals outside of the military. So I can't put, my
Yeah.
sense of discipline and my sense of preparation solely on the military.
Okay.
Because,
Mm.
there are other individuals that serve, who get kicked out for drug use, that get kicked out
Mm,
for crazy things.
Right.
So
They
it ultimately comes down to the
to
individual.
the individual. Yeah.
Mhm.
So okay. So it's it's called the House of Kai. Am I
House of
saying
Ka,
that?
Ka.
House of Ka.
And so
K-A.
what Ka is, so you've heard of Qi, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
So Qi is a Chinese expression for vital energy. The
Mm-hmm.
Japanese call it Ki, vital life energy, what sustains us. Ka is the Kemetic, ancient Egyptian, ancient African expression of vital life energy.
Ah, Ka.
Oh,
K-A, is it K-A or
Ka.
K-A-H?
No,
K-A.
K-A.
Ka. Mhm.
K-A. K-A.
Nice, nice. So,
You
there
have
was
one last?
yeah, I wanted to ask, so what if you were and you have an opportunity to give your message from your heart to the world, what is your message to the world? What would you like them to know?
My message to the world, and this is not maybe not something that has to do with overall with entrepreneurship or anything like that.
Right.
Self-care.
Mm.
Self-care is critically important. Women's self-care is critically important. And the reason why I mention that is the majority of my clients are women. Women have to there's so much women have to balance in life. Family, children, work, stresses are coming from every single source. But
Mhm.
mothers, being the nurturers that they are, will almost always keep themselves on the back burner. Always.
Yes. Oh my
But
goodness, say
what
that
I
again.
try to stress to mothers is that mothers, if your cup is not full, no, forget full. If your cup is not overflowing, you are good to no one. Everything that comes out of your cup is for everyone else to enjoy and to experience. But if your cup is barely a third or quarter full, what do you have to give someone? You're continuing to try to squeeze every last little drip of something, but there's an emptiness there. Mothers, mamas, please, please, please take care of yourself.
And but what
Physically, emotionally,
Emotionally.
spiritually, all the leaves, in all
All
the
the
all
lead.
the
ways,
leaves.
in
All
all
the
the
Yeah.
ways, please. We need you. Mothers are our
Yes.
greatest, mothers are our protectors, mothers are our nurturers, mothers are the greatest teachers. We need you at full capacities, ma'ams.
So I
That's
would
what we
say
need.
that a lot of them don't do it because they don't know how to fit it in. So what would you be your recommendation? And be specific about what it is they're fitting in, like what they need, what things they can do to take care of themselves.
A lot of times we try to overcomplicate self-care. Wake up, walk outside for 10, 15 minutes, breathe in that fresh air, look at that morning sun, look at that sun setting. Do you know what this does to the psyche? Do you know what this does to the soul? Like, it doesn't require you to have $100 a month gym membership, and now you got to force yourself to get up in the morning to do something that you really, really don't want to do. We all have to walk. If we have the means and capability and capacity, that is something that we should not take for granted. Get up, go walk, go barefoot, walk in the grass, ground, connect,
Mm. Mm.
stretch your own, do this, stretch,
Is that give
just,
yourself a
just
hug. That's when you
something,
get the stretch. Yeah.
just, just something, something as simple as that. And it
Time to
doesn't,
yourself.
self-care doesn't have to be this overly thought thing. Whatever brings you peace, whatever brings you back to self, whatever causes introspection, whatever causes growth, that's self care. But we get so consumed with life that it's hard to see through that. It's hard to recognize the necessity in that. you know? And I was a
Mhm.
part of that. I was a part of the biggest machine that there is, the US
Military.
military, you
Mhm.
know? And so when you're always constantly on go, 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 man, that takes a toll on the body, mentally, spiritually, physically, and
Yeah.
emotionally.
Yes.
So, okay, so we know as women that we need to do this. How do we encourage the men to take the step to do that as well? Because they need it also, correct?
Well, you
Yeah.
absolutely. Most certainly. However, women are gonna take care of themselves better than men are.
Yes.
That's just
Yeah.
how it is,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to wellness.
Yeah.
We already struggle hard enough for men to go get regularly annual checkups. So to say, "Hey, you look like you could use a a massage," or, "Hey, you look like you could benefit from stress therapy," you're probably gonna get the strongest side eye until they experience until excuse me,
Something starts breaking down.
until they experience it and they see the benefits, and then now they're locked in. But
Yeah.
men generally take a bit more, convincing to take care of
Convincing.
themselves.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We're gonna put your information of how to reach you if for the people we have people in Houston that, will, see this and may wanna give your service a try. I encourage
Wonderful.
you to do so if you're in Houston or Houston area
Yes.
or gonna be there. Definitely reach out and experience Aaron's touch.
Most
Yeah, and
certainly.
he's mobile, so he'll come to you. He'll
Yes,
Come to
come
your
to
absolutely.
hotel or
your
wherever
where
you are.
yeah, wherever
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
are.
House of Ka is a private mobile practice. I bring, therapeutic
House of
body work
Ka.
and stretch therapy directly to my clients. I bring all the equipment, all the setup is handled and managed by me. All you have to do is just relax at home and receive a phenomenal session by me.
That's wonderful,
Awesome,
wonderful.
awesome.
When I get to the Houston area, I will definitely be looking
Looking you up,
Amazing.
yeah,
looking up, and we're
yeah.
gonna have, again, just as Kimberly said, we're gonna have all your information in the description, and we are encouraging ladies and
House of Ka.
gentlemen, House of Ka,
Check it out.
check it
Well,
out.
thank you so much for
This
being
has been
here
so,
and for
wonderful.
sharing all of this wonderful knowledge. I kept wanting to say you did 5 tours in the, uh, Air Force. Is that right?
I haven't counted. I
In
haven't
21
counted, but
years, that's at 4 years each, that's 5
no,
plus.
oh, so no, not every assignment was 4 years exactly. Some were 2, some were,
Oh.
so it
Oh,
varied, which
okay.
is why I
Okay. They're not
retired
all 4
on an
years.
odd
Okay.
number, so yeah.
Mm,
Mhm.
Got it.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's why you retired on an odd number. So, well
21, that's
well, sweetheart, I commend you. I thank you for your service, and
yes,
being in the
thank you.
military is a hard job, and we put so much pressure on you, and the United States owes you a great deal of thanks for putting your life on the line, and I just want you to know that I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank
Well,
you
Well,
all for
it was
joining.
my absolute pleasure. Being here with you ladies was absolutely phenomenal. I really thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
you're welcome,
Welcome.
and we want you to blow up, as the kids say.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I
You
received that. I
yeah, you
received that. Thank
receive
you
it?
very much.
Oh, great.
And thank you for joining the Debbie and Kim
Kim
show.
Show.
Remember that you are perfect for your purpose for being here now. And
And
don't
don't
forget
forget,
to like,
like,
subscribe,
subscribe,
and
and
comment.
comment.
We
We
love
love
hearing
hearing
from
from
you.
you. So thank